Hi there, this is James from Value Magazine. This is the second video we are doing on this series of growing your food. Today I'm going to take you through my raised garden and show you what I've been doing. And we look at some basic things you'll need to be doing in your raised garden. You'll be amazed by how much space you can grow a lot of food on. So I'm going to pause this video and flip it over. So before I do that, make sure you hit on subscribe at the bottom and make the small bell ring so that you can get notified of future videos. This is the raised garden I showed you last time. I've planted a few things on it. If you remember from the first video, we talked about raised gardens and why you might consider doing one if you have the space. One of the reasons is it makes drainage easier, so water will be able to flow through and not clog the soil. As you can see, this soil is black cotton soil. It's black cotton soil, and some people don't like it because it logs water, and funnily some people like it because it logs water. What I mean by that is it holds water for long, which makes it conserve water. And why some people don't like it much is when it logs water, it becomes acidic and is not good for the plants. So I raise the garden so that water will be able to flow out through gravity when it rains a lot. So in this video I'm just going to take you through this and some of the activities that you'll need to do if you decide to grow your food in a raised garden. As you remember, I used what I had or what I have. These are building stones that remained when we were constructing, so it's the same building stones that I used. I did not have to buy anything. This is soil just from me. I just dug it and moved it here, and this is it for the raised garden. So one of the activities that you'll need to be doing is weeding. You'll need to be removing weeds from your garden. I can show you some tiny weeds that are growing. You can see like this. These are small right now, but trust you me, in a week or two there'll be big plants that will be competing for space with my vegetables. So you need to weed, though there is a better solution to that, which I'll show you just right now, which is mulching. Applying mulch to the raised garden. This helps conserve water. It also helps prevent weeds from growing by denying them light. Mulching also helps feed the soil. The soil will the mulch in like this you're seeing right now, in a few weeks or few months it will have decomposed fully. I'll have to add new mulch, and that process of decomposing will make nutrients available to the soil. Another thing I do is I feed the soil with cow manure. Remember we talked about using what you have. This is cow manure, well decomposed cow manure. My neighbors are Maasai and they keep cattle, so I usually get this for free from them. So you'll need to find ways of how you can feed your soil. Feeding your soil helps you get better plants, more nutritious plants. Yes, yeah. So you'll need to be feeding your soil um, and as you can see, with a raised garden, the soil does not harden as much as open garden. For example, I can actually till or work on it using my hands. Can work on it using my hands. I don't do this. I'm not saying you should use your hands, but I'm just saying it's possible because the soil is not so compacted. So it makes it easier to work on. But don't use your hands because you might get blisters. You might get blisters. Actually, I'm rethinking this. It feels therapeutic working on it. It's like my hands are being massaged by the soil. So yeah, think of it as a free massage. So you can actually work on your soil. So you need to be working on your soil once in a while. If you haven't mulched, as I showed you, you'll need to be removing the weeds. Just breaking this top part helps water seep in. But the good thing with a raised garden is, like you can see, I can just dip my finger through. I'm just dipping my fingers through. With a raised garden, the soil doesn't compact, so it helps the roots not struggle when they are growing. Another thing you'll need to do is watering. Let me show you something first. This place is like let me take steps. 1, 2, 3, 3.5 steps, and that way should be around 2 steps. So let's say around 3 meters by 2 meters. And when I'm watering, I only use this bucket, and 2 bucketfuls of this are enough to water per day. And I just do it the easy way. I just dip in just to make the bucket lean, dip in my fingers or my hands, and throw the water. That's all I do. It takes me like 5 minutes to water the whole place. I do this in the evenings, and 2 buckets full, and my plants are happy every day. I don't do this when it's raining. So what have I planted so far? What have I planted? So these are sukuma wiki, what some people call kales, others call it collard greens. A bit of debate about the names. And as you can see on this small space, uh, we have a lot of plants. Let's count. One, this is a bit small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 over there. We go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 times 6, that makes 36 plants. And with these 36 plants, just getting leaves when it's mature, I'll show you when you're harvesting. Just getting leaves from 3 plants can feed your whole family per meal. And the good thing about sukuma wiki is that you can, as you harvest, the leaves keep coming. Don't worry about the yellowing. The plants, I bought these seedlings from a neighbor, so when I planted them, they dropped into the soil. So with time, the yellowing leaves will disappear, and I love green nice leaves. So just with 36 plants, you have enough food for your family. About spacing, you might ask about spacing. This is not a standard spacing for this kind of or vegetable. It's supposed to be 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters. 60 centimeters is let's approximate 1, 2, 3. It's around 60 centimeters, but I put them a bit close. I put them a bit close so that I could grow more plants. And one of the reasons I did that is I'm not doing this for commercial farming, and also I'm aggressively feeding the soil so the plants will not be competing for nutrients, and also I aggressively water so they won't compete with water. And above the sun here we have a lot of sun, so I think they'll be okay. We will do a review video later on and see how they're faring on. So that is kales over there. This here is kunde or cowpeas. I'm growing them for vegetables. As you can see, this was just easy. I made it as easy as I could, so I just broadcasted them through them and let them grow. And one of the reasons I love kunde is that they grow really fast. This is actually 3 weeks old. It's 3 weeks old kunde. You can see that it's getting leafy. We're growing them for vegetables, so as a vegetable, sorry, I mean we're growing them as a vegetable. So in 2 weeks, that is 5 weeks total, they'll be ready for harvesting. I'm yet to decide whether I'll dry them and blanch them, or sorry, I'm yet to decide whether I'll blanch them and freeze them, or whether I'll dry them and store them in plastic bags for later use. We'll decide when we get there. So as you can see, in between there's some kales growing. I planted them in between later after I'd planted the cowpeas. This is because the cowpeas will be gone in 2 weeks, and I'll be left with the kales, which you can harvest multiple times, be able to harvest multiple times. And in the future, what I'm thinking is I'll still be planting the cowpeas in between the kales. One is because the cowpeas come from the legume family, and they fix nitrogen in the soil, so they help in providing more nutrients to the kales. So as you can see, this it doesn't take a lot of land to grow your own food, doesn't take a lot of space. So something else I planted, managu, or what we call African nightshade, still growing. Eventually I'll mulch out the whole place, so don't worry about that. I did it piecemeal so that I could show you the different sections. So this is African nightshade managu, which can be used as a vegetable. Yeah, and that's it for my raised garden. So join me in the next video as I take you through growing your own food in a different location. Let's say, what if you don't have this small space that I have here? You can actually grow your food in a bucket like this one, or in a sack, a burlap sack. So I'll take you through that, through preparing the soil for that, and managing that, and yes, and you'll be done with this series of growing your own food with whatever you have. Remember, this is not about This is not about fancy stuff. It's just about growing food with what you have. I've I've not purchased much here. The cowpeas, I purchased the grains from the grocery store. This is less than a quarter kilogram of cowpeas, which cost me around 35 bob or so. That translates to around 0.35 of a dollar. And these kumawiki seedlings, I bought them from a neighbor at 2 shillings each, which translates to 0.02 of a dollar. So you can see I've not spent much on this, just my time, effort, and I believe in using what you have. So join me next time as we do the next video. Thank you.